Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura's Handmade Haven. Welcome or welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me today. We're continuing our Cozy Up October series, and today we're going to be making a really cute patchwork pillow cover. So I don't know about you guys, but I used to put a lot of effort into kind of changing my house with the seasons, and I really have kind of downsized that a lot, especially after I started school and just, life basically in general. And I just didn't put a priority on it. But this year I thought, how fun would it be to just have a nice little fall themed pillow on my couch? And I also have my fall themed quilt hanging on the wall in my living room. So just those two little additions to the decor just kind of helps me feel like I did something, but I didn't have to go overboard and spend hours and hours and hours of time and energy into it. So I'm going to share with you a very quick and simple patchwork pillow design that you can whip up within an hour or so and get your couch looking super cute, or maybe your bed or wherever you want to put it. So we're going to talk through the supplies that you need and how you can adjust the pattern to do whatever you want with it to different pillow sizes. And we're also going to talk about pillow forms a little bit, just kind of tying in a little bit of information on what size you want to make your pillow shams if you're going to use different sizes pillows on your couch or bed or wherever you're putting them. So without further ado, let's swing on down to the craft table and get the first couple steps out of the way so we can start stitching and have our grand reveal of our cute little pillow. I just want to have a couple different fabrics that are cute and fall-like, but not necessarily, truly fall themed, but this one is super cute, right? And this is going to be the main part of the pillow. And so the front of the pillow, I'm just going to do basically a 9 patch. And then on the back, I'm just going to use an envelope fold. You can definitely add a couple buttons if you wanted, and then you could use the back as the front. It could be kind of reversible, but we'll talk through all of that in a little while. So the first thing that you needed to figure out is I have a 15-inch pillow form, but I don't want my cover to be 15 inches because if you make your cover the same size as the pillow form, you don't get that really plump, stuffed pillow look. So I'm actually going to make my pillow sham about 14 inches or maybe even 13 and a half. I'm just going to add a simple 9 patch on the front and then 2 flaps on the back for an envelope fold. So if I have a 14-inch pillow sham that I want to make and I want a 9 patch on the front, each one of these squares will probably need to be 5 inches because then finished size is 4.5. And 4.5 times 3 is 13.5. And like I said, I'm okay with 13.5 too because I want to make sure my pillow is plump. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut 9 squares out of these 2 fabrics to create the front of my pillow. Now, if you wanted to do 2.5-inch squares or even 3-inch squares or whatever, you could. Just remember that you want to get up to about 13.5 or 14 inches if you're wanting to stuff a 15-inch pillow. All right, so I'm just going to lay this on there. Now remember, these are scraps, so I'm not really worried about fabric conservation that much. And I'm going to cut more squares than I need just because and out of the other fabric, so this one is going to be 5 of the 9-inch squares. So out of the other fabric, I just need 4 5-inch squares. And I'm just going to cut these right here. Move it in a little bit because I know that these edges are selvage and also just not completely even. Because again, these are scraps. All right, now that's all I need of this fabric, just those 4 squares. And then out of the other fabric, I also need those envelope folds for the back. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 14 inches or 13.5 inches and add 1/2 inch for a seam allowance. So that's going to get me at 14 inches because half of an inch is a 1/4 inch on each side. Okay, so the next thing we got to do is figure out the back of our pillow, those 2 pieces that we want. And first of all, this front is going to be 13.5 plus 1/2 inch for our seam allowance. So that means 14 inches is going to be our width. And then I want this one to be about halfway, so that's 7 plus the seam allowance. But this one I want to be a little taller, so I'm gonna go probably 9. That'd give me a 2-inch overlap between those two pieces. So I just wanted to do 9 plus the seam allowance. And then I also want to remember that I'm going to be turning these edges under here to have a finished seam. So I need to have it to be 7 plus, let's say 2 more just for that turn. So that's going to be 9 by 14 and 11 by 14. And that will give me plenty to be able to turn in under a finished seam and to be able to have those two pieces overlap on the back side of my pillow. All right, so we're gonna open up this little scrap here. And we're doing 9 by 14. And I have measured this already and I know it's not 14, it's only about 11 and a half. So I'm just going to cut this end off straight and get this on a line. All right, so that's at the 2. So we want these at 14 inches wide. There's 1. And then this way, make sure you cut that selvage off. Now you could, and I have snuck that selvage into a seam allowance before, but it does give a little more structure to the pillow and it's a little difficult to do that sometimes to make it really nice and flat when you get done with it. All right, so this one is going to be 9 by 14. There's one piece. Have you guys made pillow shams before? I feel like as crafters, I feel like pillow shams are typically something that everyone has done at some point in time. I don't know if you've ever done it quite like this, where you're just kind of winging it as you go. I had somebody mention on one of my videos that they love the way that sometimes I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. And I thought that was so cute because I feel like sometimes as crafters, we take our stuff so seriously that we forget that it's supposed to be fun, right? And if it's not fun, if it's not creative, if it's not giving you a freedom, then why are you spending your time doing it, right? I just don't understand that one. I definitely love coming into the craft room, grabbing a pile of scraps and figuring out what I can make with them. It is one of my favorite things to do. All right, so those are all the pieces I need. And again, I have the large one and the small one for the back of the pillow. And then I have these 9, although I think I have 10, 5-inch squares. And that's all I need for this pillow sham. So let's head over to the sewing machine and do the next step. Okay, so I thought I was recording and I wasn't, but okay. I folded this in 3/4 of an inch and then I've just pinned it a little bit. I'm running it right around 1/2 of an inch on my needle plate to keep my seam straight. And this is the back part of the pillow. I'm just putting these little seams into place to hold that edge down, that little seam down. Do a back stitch at the end. All right, so now those are completed. And they're gonna go hang out on the table next to me. I'm gonna grab my design board because I wanna be able to lay my squares out because they're not directional prints, but there are things on them that are directional. Like I don't want my pumpkin patch signs upside down, so I wanna lay these out just to make sure that everything is going the right way. And I don't want my little animals on their head either. So we're just gonna lay these out on the design board. And I know that some of you have asked me a few times, well, what do you use your design boards for? Well, this is one of the things I use my design boards for. If you have directional fabric, you can lay out your pieces And then you can make sure everything is going the correct way, and you can just build your block off the design board. So I'm just going to grab them off the design board by the row, and that way I know everything is going to be good. All right, so this goes back to the side of my machine. I'll grab the first 2 squares from the first row, and I know that you guys have seen me do 9 patch blocks before, so I'm not going to bore you with that too much, but this should be very quick and simple just because it's just a 9 patch. Now you could do any block you want. You can just look online for a block that is around 13.5 or 14 inches if you have a 15-inch pillow form. If you can't find one, remember you can always add a border too. So you could add a little border around like a 12-inch block or a 9-inch block, and then you can make it to the size that you want it. Okay, so that's the first 2 blocks for all 3 rows, and I'm just going to slide these back down and flip this open. And line up the 3rd block in that row. And I know I've shown you guys different blocks that I do like this. It really is, it's just so nice because you don't have to be too worried about losing your place. Or it is nice when you build blocks like this with this webbing method, just because you don't have to keep track of your rows as much. You don't have to remember which one's which, because the whole block is built out here and it's just webbed together or chained together with these little jump stitches between each row. Now, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip 2 of my rows together, and I'm going to allow my seams to nest. So I'm just going to take the first 2 seams between these blocks and just flip them opposite directions, and that's going to lock that seam together. It will nest it, and that way my point will line up perfectly between those 2 squares. I'm going to make sure that I do the next ones the same way, because that way when I get to the next row, they can go the same way as well. Well, they'll go opposite of what those were, but they will have the same direction. So now when I look at this, these are facing this way. So that tells me this seam up here for this last loose row needs to go the other way, so they can also nest. Now, before I sew my back to my front of the pillow, I'm going to do a little bit of top stitching just to add a little decorative interest. And I'm going to switch back to the tan thread, or the, I don't know, the off-white, beige, whatever color you want to call that thread. For those of you that haven't watched my videos before and may be curious, I am using a Juki DX7. I love my Juki. It is really amazing. And yeah, so I just put the clear presser foot on because we're going to do a large zigzag, and I'm honestly cranking it up all the way. So if you have a Juki and you're wondering what exactly this stitch is, it is the zigzag stitch. I have a 7 for the width and 3.6 for the length. And I'm going to run this little triangle on my presser foot right down the middle of this seam. Now, when you get to this junction here, just make sure that you feel which way your seam is going and press it one way or the other. There's no wrong way to press it, but you want to make sure that all of your seams behind are flat. And then we're just going to do some zigzags across all of the seams on the front of this pillow, just to give it a little more interest. Now I pressed this one up, so I need to make sure that this is also pressed up here before I go across this. That's going to matter when we go the other direction. Same one with this one. This one was pressed down over there, so I want to make sure it's pressed down over here. So here's the back side of my pillow. You can see how all those seams got kind of sewn down into place by that zigzag. So it's not going to add any poofiness or none of that's going to like stand up against my pillow form. It's all going to be nice and flat. And I will obviously give this a nice little press too before I put it on the pillow. The last thing we need to do is put the backs of our pillows onto the front. So how we're going to do that is we are just going to line up the bottom. Now, since this is an envelope pillow, there's no zipper included or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that. The one thing you do want to worry about, and think about this, whatever you do on this is going to be how your pillow is, right? And I want this seam in the middle to show. I don't want this to show. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this one against the front of the pillow, and I am going to use a couple little pins to pin the corners in place, just so nothing shifts on me. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom corners. Now, since this is an envelope pillow, we don't have to worry about leaving a space to turn it because the space to turn it is in the middle. Now I'm going to go a little more than 1/4 inch on this just because I want to give myself a little more wiggle room. I want that pillow nice and plump. When I get to the corner, I am actually going to do a back stitch because we're going to be cutting these corners off diagonally. And I want to make sure I have a little bit of extra stitching there. Just a little extra added security, I guess. Just be careful going across this, not to flip anything. Okay, so I'm going to trim the corners and then we will flip it out and put it on our pillow. I'm just using my thumb to poke out those corners. You could definitely get your 2-point turner out or a pair of scissors if you're careful. All right, so let's put this on our pillow. This pillow has been used for so many years. It's kind of sad actually because it's probably seen better days. I really should get a better pillow form. But I'm just working the corners of the pillow into the corners of my pillow sham. Now, if you want, and I may, if you wanted to, you could definitely put a couple little stitches in this, or you could put a little button here to button it closed. I know that my mother-in-law actually put like 3 buttons across hers and sewed it down, and it was super cute sitting on our couch showing those buttons off, but you don't have to because you have the side of your pillow to adorn your couch. All right, so here we have our latest Cozy Up October project. Can definitely get cozy on the couch now with our pillow. And let's just be honest though, I know my pillow is gonna be flying through the air with the greatest of ease from a Shiba Inu tossing it around. But anyway, it is what it is, right? But this was a really quick, fun way to use up some flannel scraps. You could use this, you could use any design you want on the front of this. So if you have just like some strips, you could definitely do like a crazy quilt type look. You could definitely use like an improv strip block on the front of it where you just sew strips together. You could put that on some Pellon and then you would have a finished inside for your pillow as well. So all kinds of ways for you to be creative with these, but I hope that this helps you see that flannel scraps can be used for more than just mug rugs and coasters. You can also definitely use them in larger projects like a pillow, or there's so many other projects coming up. So I hope you continue to watch the series. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Give me some ideas of things that you've used your flannel scraps for, and how are you cozying up this October? Until next time, find joy in all you do. Carve out some time for crafting and creating. And remember, it's always better when you make a step up.